I'm going to show you the violin today. As you don't know, I've been practicing it, but I haven't actually done really a lot besides practice it. So I reboxed my bow. That's good. I want to do is try to tweak the tuning on it a little bit too, because tuning is a little off. So this is the violin here, and I want to adjust the G to D strings because it's a little bit crazy. Let's turn this on here. This is a clip-on tuner, and I always found it easier to clip it to my problem is I noticed the string thing here is really tuned out really far. I got extra spare strings, so this is less of a problem if I snap one. I'll try not to anyway. Okay. Turn back towards me again. Let's try to go 3D. That's closer. A little bit too high pitched. Really, really fussy getting this thing tuned. And it's not really a second A. I hate when it says that. Ain't no second A. I swear to God, this tuner is. This thing is butt kiss. I hate this tuner. I hate this tuner so much. Oh. Now, since he's going to start recognizing the G, that's close. What enough for that? That's the D. Okay. That's supposed to be A. It's supposed to be just a tiny hair. It's just straight loose. Perfect. All right, good enough for now. So right. as I said, I bought some extra strings anyway. I got these cheap on eBay. I mean on Amazon. These are 4 packs of Cecilios. I don't know who actually makes this violin. This is not made with Cecilio. I know that for a fact. Now, I already browsed this bow up, so I just gotta activate it. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. So what it is we're gonna try the one of the strings that's gonna hardest up. That's the E. And this is the G. And that's the D one. And here's the D. Here's the A. So, and I was playing around with some concept of the strings. So I was coming up with a word like this. It sounds like this. And then this goes. Okay, so basically it goes like this. Okay, so now I didn't even use anything on the fingerboard yet. So I'm wondering, instead of having using the E string for the goodbye, I should go with the A with the 4th note down, which would be something like this. So, hey, hey, so it's a little bit better. So almost. And the reason why you get the squeaking noise is because I'm putting too much pressure on my bow unintentionally. So, hey, I extended the E there. In fact, the E I'm doing here on the 4th string, and this is the same as this. It's the same as the open one. So in essence, if I'm holding on the 4th finger here, and I compare it to the open, they're identical. So really, you got 3. So I was to go this note instead. You really don't have to squash it flat. You want to just you just want to cut the flow. So vibration, that's what you're doing with your fingers here on the fingerboard. So it's a little bit different. That's the E. That's kind of an E too. I can go in here. See, I've been learning how to do this, and so I'm coming a long way. So if I do what I think I should sound like so far, it should be no. I really think it should be higher. So I'm gonna go with the second button on the hood. No. Hey, so I can do it like that, which is this is where you start to use your fingers. So open this. They're gonna do these two open. Now I'm gonna do it with the 3rd finger down. Or I can do it with the second one, which would be. not even dealing with the second position, which is completely different. It's down here. But if I did that, you get this. This is higher. Okay? Okay, well, we're not just going to do this. We're going to stick with first position for now. So if I do G, I'm going to get like a C. It's going to be like, okay, here, it's going to be C. If I do D, you can actually test that. That would be, if your intonation is wrong, it's going to sound weird. Okay, notice there's a gap. Okay, here, there's a gap on the G, and it kind of matches with the gap over here on the E string. Okay, so this is going to jump over here. So if you've seen some of the automatic violin playing machines, the always that they have, or even on the octave bass, their thing have levers, and the levers are actually doing the same job that I'm doing with my fingers, except they're like this. They're squashing these strings down at one time. So, but I'm not playing the octave bass, and I'm not playing an automatic self-playing violin. So I have to get this thing right. So basically, first thing I like to do is still need to practice the bowing. Okay, if you get your bowing too strong, it's gonna sound really fun. Okay, it always seems to go down. It's when you start. If you can get the bowing, and I was gonna say, well, why do you have to start out? Okay, that's the. Okay. Don't forget, you can also do what they call a cross. Play both notes together. Oh, what is it? I hate that E string. I really do. I hate that E string so much. Alright, so basically, I know my bowing techniques, right? But so make sure you always get your crossing finger, because that's gonna matter. I noticed that. Let's see. That's A. Now if I can hold on for the fourth finger on A, it sounds like an E. Right? That's supposed to. That's the open E. That's the fourth finger on the D string, on the A string. This is the A string E. This is the open E. So that's something I've been learning on my own. So let's try to go back what I originally was trying to create, okay? So starting with the D string. Okay, so I'm going to start with this again. So, Now I can do. I didn't even have to use E for that. So basically, what I did was I just went. Okay, so now you hear what I'm saying. So what I did was, for those of you who like to play the cello, if that's your thing, you can play a violin like a cello. Of course, it's going to be kind of weird because it's no little pegs. That's because we're still in most of the way. But you would still do the same fingering, except now your hands are all in the wrong positions. So what I was wondering is if you wanted to make this into a little micro cello, would you be able to do it? Probably not with a really long string. Although I do know some electric violins do have the F string, which you'll find in a cello. Acoustic ones, I have not seen that. So, but I could easily make this mini by a viola by taking the E string off, moving the D, G, and A over, putting a C over here, the C on this one, and then you would have like a cello because you would have the C, the D, the G, and the A. If that's your thing. I don't have a spare violin body to do that with. Otherwise, that's exactly what I would have done. Okay? So, let's try again. We're going to go slow because we want to hear what I'm doing here. Oh, yes. If you get 2 notes per string, that could be kind of cool. It's actually called chording. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You got. I'm just bullshitting around now. Let's try a chord. All right, so this is really not my thing. That's it. That's it. Let's try this way. Actually, I like that. That sounds cool. I like it too. I think it really does sound cool. Let's try that again. Okay, sure thing. Holding down the bow between the D and the G. Now, D, E, goodbye. Okay. So, what is it like to play this thing? Well, I actually enjoy playing it. It's fun. I really do have a good time playing it. And you can see I got rosin on my chin rest. So I want to clean that off. This is kind of more routine maintenance anyway. You don't want to get too careless with this. Okay? But here's what you need to watch out for with a violin. Try to keep your fingers off the area where the bows goes. The bow is between the F holes. Make sure your bridge is centered, and it is. Make sure it's right up. It is. Okay. And for God's sakes, don't drop your violin because that's where the sound post is. Absolutely not. If you drop this, if you knock the towel out, that's in here, which is in here, you can see the sound post. That towel, which is not glued, and it should not be glued, falls out. Bring this thing to a violin tech to get it fixed because Otherwise, you're putting what 27 kilos of weight onto this surface of the violin. This is not very thick. I don't care if this is plywood, this is or if this is real, honest to God, lumber cut by a real luthier. This is a inexpensive student grade violin, so don't expect it to sound fantastic. Also, can you get rid of any excess rust on the bow? I would, maybe occasionally you might want to do that, but like I said, if your biggest thing is the E string, and it is for me, okay, well, let's hold like this. Where does it sound scratch right there? There's the gravity, the frog area is heaviest. Dig that G string. Alright, so let's talk about something now, another thing. Why do you know what string you're on? If for some reason you're playing a song and you're playing it really fast and it sounds really weird, like in this here, that's the E, it's the E, it's the A, right? But let's see you're trying to get the A, let's play the D. So now, all the way down. Just gently touch the strings with your fingers. That's A. That's A. That's some food. Something like that. Take a piece of wood out of a table saw. That's the egg. So that's kind of how you play this. So as your also position matters too, but I mean, in practice, most violinists do standing up. That's the A string. You hear that? That is the A. It's the D. So the reason I sound terrible is because very common problem is crossing. Now most people do these. Most violinists do it standing up. because posture is important. But unfortunately, I got a problem with my legs, and so if I stand up for a hell of a long time, I'm gonna have the worst luck. That's the reason I don't stand. So that means even more important that I get my shoulder right, because I also running into this plushies back here. So I can't make really long. I mean, the A and the D, all right, and the E is the A, and the A. That's the G. That's the A. That's the E. I can tell. And remember, I told you when you hold on the fourth, now you have to press it hard. If you just hold down, you create this. That's the E. I'm gonna go slow so you can hear it, okay? So that's the E, open E. And then hold on the fourth on the A. Hear how that sounds almost the same. That's because it is A, okay, open. So you hold your finger down here, you got your A, okay, you got your F, right? Let's see. A, this would be B, C, D, and this would be E. But you don't need to do E because you just need to do open here for A, which is exactly what you would do. Right? It's exactly what you're doing. So you hold your violin comfortably like I did. Again, I'm going to do the same thing, okay? Okay? You don't need to press a move down. That's the E. That's the E. That's the open. That's the fourth finger down on the A key. Doesn't sound much different because it isn't. So that means that if you go 3 or 4 fingers up on the E, right, you even have your F, you have a G, you have an A, a B, and a C. So if I hold this key down, open. Okay, so that's the beginning of playing this. Are they actually correctly, totally in tune? Don't hold me to it. I'm just going by ear because I don't know absolutely. Okay, but I know it sounds good to me. I know I copied the instrument when I first started. You saw me that I do that. So I know I can kind of get this right. So you can do the chords I mentioned here, which Yeah, that sounds weird. Don't give up your day job. No, so let's see. So. Okay. So that means that for A on a G, I do the same thing. Well, it actually doesn't quite work in G the same way, or D the same way. Now that pressure, actually not, it's only pushing. That's G. I need to work on this some more. Yeah, the bowing needs to be worked on some more too. Yeah, bowing is definitely. Still, I think this frog is still messed up. I still think so too. Yeah. So maybe got too much rosin on it. Maybe I don't have enough rosin. So let's try again. I'll be honest, the A key string is kind of hard to hit by itself. I've noticed this. Okay, I'm like. You know, it's not this, and you know. That's what it sounds like. Right there. It's certainly not this. So if you get too low, like, it's keeping away from the on purpose. Like, see, a violin lets you do that. I can hit both notes simultaneously. Or next to each other. That's a pretty cool effect. Yeah. You can get it consistently. It's pretty cool. Try to slow it down, but bow wise. There. So basically what I did was I went G, D, A, D, and E at the end. So I started out with G. I'm gonna go real slow so you can hear it. And he said E string. And I hate that E string. Oh man, I hate the E string so bad. I mean, it's maybe you should turn this into a violin or viola. Well, it's not bad. So. How does it feel to play this thing? Well, um, I think it's kind of fun actually. I'm not saying it's still or fascinating. It's fun. I actually do have a good time doing it, and I try to take it with some seriousness. But at the same time, I do like playing around with the strings and seeing what they can do with them. So I'm not sitting there like some hardcore student going, "Oh, I have to be perfect." Actually, I found out when I was start playing around, you can do some pizzicato too. Pizzicato is like it's another method. So pizzicato can be done also with strings too. But the problem is just with the bow, you get the consistency, the vibration going on, and it amplifies itself so that when you're burning the bow across it, it sounds good. But without the bow, like this kind of guitar, if you press too hard on the strings, you're gonna kind of snuffle up the sound. And I'm not a guitar player, so I don't know how much this violin costed when Sherry Jackson bought it. I know it was not the most advanced violin in the world. Um, so, like, was suggested you should say you should leave the violin in eyesight so you can find it. And that might encourage you to practice more, which sort of makes sense. Um, that's that's what we do with the violin. I have fun doing it. I have fun making the noise. The neighbors haven't complained, and of course, I get a chance to goof around like you saw me doing, goofing around. But that's because you got your fingers, the one, two, three, four. The fourth finger is the same as the next open note after that. So which means when you saw me pressing down on the A, you got the B, the C, the D. Okay, wait. So you have the A, the B, C, D, and then E. But then if you don't need the E, because that's the next note over. However, if you broke the damn E string, I guess you could use it if you weren't using the E string for an open note, but that's kind of bad news anyway. And then the same thing with the G, and you get this, and you're going to be pressing the G down, and you're going to get F, A, B, no, let's see. So everything goes to G. So you got the G. So you would have an A, a B, a C, and then the D. And then, and then I was having fun with chords, pressing three fingers, one on each string, down like this, just for the hell of it, and just playing with that. And that was more of just basically, let's just basically faff around, play around with some notes. But the one thing I'm having trouble with the E string, that screechy E string, is we don't know why it's screechy. I know it's bow pressure, but even if you get the bow pressure perfect, it's right near the frog, it's the heaviest. That's where the worst of it is. It's not further up the bow, so I know it's not necessarily the string. Could it be the bow? It could be, but the thing is, I don't think so, because you would think you would notice the problem on all the other strings, and we're not. How often do you need a rosin in your bow? Alright, let's talk about that. From my own personal experience, when you're playing the instrument and what normally sounds like the strings vibrating properly, when it starts sounding like it's not, like it's slipping, then just try to put a little rosin on it to get it back in the tune, because the rosin does flake off. That's just a reality. And so anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you today. This was a very simple, short little, let's get the hands on the violin. Let me show you what I can do with it. As we have a show coming up at 7 o'clock tonight, which is a portrait show. So I want to thank you all for watching this little show, and I'll see you a little later on today. Bye-bye.
In the samba's embrace, she finds her way. Twisting and turning, she won't let things sway. With love for the music and fire in her soul, she